You have been fighting for so long, and that's the first part of this message. We just need to recognize how long you have been fighting and how hard you have been fighting, because I think this message is actually finding you when you are on the brink of surrender, whatever that means for you. But I'm just getting the sense where you really feel like giving up, and you're being guided to reconnect with your core. And I think that's very scary. I think you actually are reconnecting with yourself at your true core. And what I'm hearing is who you are at your core is who you are. None of the people around you, the things that you have, none of those pieces are you. This is you. Your core is you. Which sounds very simple, but that gets very convoluted in the world we live in, right? I think you actually are reconnecting with your core right now, and that's why you feel like giving up, because you probably are disconnecting with all of the noise around you, all of the kind of distractions around you that just distract who it is that you feel that you are on the inside. Minus all of the things you have, minus the place you live, minus your family, minus your community, minus your friends, your romantic relationship. Besides all of that, I believe this collective is at a point where they have really pulled back their energy. Like, I'm just feeling like energy leaks sealed up. Like, a lot of energy has been returned back to you, and you're at the point where you don't know what to do now. Like, you don't know what to do moving forward. I feel like you have overcome so much. So much of your life has felt like a fight, has just felt like survival. And you're coming to this point where you're really trying to just like understand who you are, what you're supposed to be doing. Like, what do you want to be doing? How do you want to live your life? What do you want to guide your path forward? I think that is like really kind of compounding or confounding you. Words. It's really kind of like a conundrum right now, where you're at a point where you're like, I am in full control of my energy because I have allowed myself to disconnect with all of the things that don't align with my true values, with my true core. So you're kind of just like sitting in this core centric energy. Me feel like you're like seated and you're like sitting up straight and you're like looking out, and you've disconnected with all that was around you that went against this feeling, this core feeling of you. And you're like, well, now what? What was this all for? Why did I do any of this? I feel like you're a person who may identify as having very high standards. And I don't even mean high. I just think you operate in a way that feels different than a lot of people you've encountered before, whether that comes to friends, romantic relationships, career, life in general. You just have your standards are different. Like, you're not someone who's going to just do something because you don't know what else to do. You're not going to enter a relationship with someone just because you feel lonely, and you're like romanticizing relationships even though you don't align with the other person in that relationship. So that could go with romantic relationships, friendships, whatever. But you could have been around people a lot who like were just constantly getting into relationships or having friends that just to have someone to hang out with. A lot of that energy. And I think you just like, you may have felt like, well, is there something wrong with me because I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to surround myself with people who don't feel like me at my core, who don't recognize me at my core. And like, if that means I'm alone, then I'm alone. But like, what else am I supposed to do? You know, like, I'm not going to just be with someone to be with someone, because the core of who you are is very important to you. The only cards I pulled for this message so far was just some animal cards. And the first card I got out was Moon, intuitive. This is also just like letting yourself see clearly, like not getting muddied and like cluttered in the mind by these things that like don't actually matter. And like, you know, they don't actually matter to you, but you're just kind of getting confused because they seem to matter to other people around you, or they seem to matter in the world, in the society you're in. But coming back to this core intuition, this core feeling, your soul's truth, is leading to rebirth. And it may not feel like that. You may feel like you're at an end. Every end is a beginning, right? So like, there's something about how you are ready to give up this fight, because you're like, I have been fighting for my life for so long, and I don't know what to do anymore. And I think fighting back to the core of who you really are That's like kind of what this fight has all been about. Is coming back to this core, fighting to get to the core of you. And you're like, well, I feel like I know who I am now. I feel like I know who I am now, minus all of the noise, minus all of the clutter. I feel like I know who I am. But what does that even mean? Like, what am I supposed to do with that now? That's really what I feel like this is. And I think, like, that's allowed to just be. Like, that is allowed to be the feeling right now. That you're allowed to let that guide you. Emptiness, because it feels empty, right? You're like, well, I got rid of all the clutter and I know who I am, but what if that doesn't mean anything? What if that doesn't really guide me at all? What if it's just this empty feeling? Because we have been taught through our whole lives to attach ourselves to the things around us, to the people around us, to the places we live in. And I think discovering who you really are is the rebirth. And right now it feels like nothing, it just feels empty, but emptiness is innately abundance. It's abundant opportunities, it's endless opportunity, it's infinite. It's that feeling of infinity because you have pulled your energy back and now you are in full control of your energy. And what I'm really getting is just this fear. It's just this fear, this exhaustion. You're like, well, now I don't know what to do. Now I'm just so lost because none of those things are guiding me anymore. What do we need to know right now? Okay. Let's stick with these for right now. 7 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, Page of Wands. So 7 of Cups is like honestly the perfect card for this feeling right now. You see this fairy has his cup in his hand, this big cup, right? And I feel like this is really the energy that you have pulled back and returned to yourself. And all of these other cups are all of the opportunities, all of the options you now have to pour your energy into. But you don't know where to put your energy at. But I think it's important to just recognize this feeling of like, you are the creator of your life. You are completely in charge of where you put your energy because you have successfully pulled it back. So now you have full control over your energy and where you want to put it, what passions you want to put it into, what people you want to put it into, what projects, where you want to live. All of these things, you have full control now. 9 of Pentacles. I think you're just being reminded that you are completely safe and secure. This feeling feels scary. It feels overwhelming. It feels emotionally destabilizing is what I'm really getting. And it's making you feel, because you don't have any of these attachments that really kind of kept you in a false sense of security. You don't have that anymore. So you're just kind of like, whoa, like nothing. You feel so ungrounded. Yeah, I'm just getting the sense that you need to ground your nervous system. That's the most important thing, is to not return to a state of fear. Because all of the false attachments that you had that were like false guides, that really covered up the fear. That really covered up that you were operating out of fear. So now the fear is just fear. There's nothing covering it. You know, it's just like, okay, there's no distracting from that fear inside you. This feeling of insecurity, of instability, is actually integral to your path forward. Because you're being guided to move through genuine fears and insecurities without covering them. Like seeing them for what they are clearly. Seeing your past wounds for what they are clearly. Seeing why you have certain insecurities, why you have certain fears. Seeing all of these things clearly so you can successfully overcome them, so you can successfully move through them. You are allowed to be in full control of your life, of your energy, of who you are. That is the way it's supposed to be. But that's not what we're taught. So it feels very destabilizing to like have full control of yourself, to have full control of your energy. Page of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. Okay, so 2 pages coming out. You're allowed to sit and wait and feel in alignment. You're moving towards something new. You're moving towards something brand new. You're moving towards something that you probably haven't even like been introduced to before. New ideas that you have never even considered. New people that you didn't think you would ever meet. So I feel like you're in the stage where you're like learning how to feel comfortable being in control of yourself, learning how to feel comfortable um, being this creator, right? Being the wielder of your magic. So you're allowed to sit and get used to that. Any messy step forward that you take is integral to like getting you further on your true path, on your path towards truth. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to see the end to move. And if you don't feel like it's right for you to move, if you're still getting used to your energy, then just sit and wait for the clarity to come. Because any sense of rushing, feeling the need to rush, is acting from a place of fear, and that's what's also moving your nervous system further out of alignment. So it's like you need to prioritize your nervous system and keeping your nervous system in a state of groundedness and security. Let's just get a mindful message, actually, because I want to kind of like simplify and ground this message to end it all. What is one last mindful message we need, Spirit? Together. I love working together with others and how it makes once impossible dreams possible. I see there is strength in unity and how much we can accomplish together. Asking for help is not weak, it is powerful. The way this card looks could be significant. This connection between the yellow-orange color and the purple color. It's like really connecting your lower chakras with your spirituality. I think you're a very independent person. You feel like you have to do things alone. Like you feel like you're not allowed to ask for help. You have resources around you for a reason. You have people in your life for a reason. And it's not selfish to ask them for their advice, to ask them for the resources they have. And because you have resources to offer others as well. And I think that's going to help guide your path forward, is that asking for help from the people around you, asking for their information, for their experience, for the knowledge that they hold, is actually allowing you to share all of the knowledge and wisdom and advice that you have within you. Because I think you withhold yourself a lot, and by connecting with other people and asking for their experience, for their wisdom, it allows you to understand the wisdom that you hold within you in order to share it. I think you feel so protective of yourself that you don't even let yourself acknowledge the wisdom you hold, and you don't let other people see the depth of wisdom you hold. I almost feel like you're very scared to open up because you're like, well, this is the core of me, this is all I have, so like, what if they take it somehow? There's almost like a fear of like, if you share knowledge that you hold very dear to you, that people will take it away somehow or claim it as their own, which is very interesting. I feel like this almost comes from like something you're passionate about. You're really scared to let this piece of you shine because it's so important to you. And you're scared that people are going to manipulate it or take it for their own or claim it as their own. The power you hold comes from sharing it and from offering it. And you can only receive through the act of giving. If you want to receive, you need to be willing to give. If you want to receive, you need to be willing to give. And that's why it's so important to come to that place of security within yourself, of being in full control of your energy, because you can direct it to the places you really want to, and nurture is coming through. And again, I'm attracted to like the red connecting with the purple, your highest chakra connecting with your lowest chakra. So when you're in full control of your energy, that's going to allow you to share it to share your energy, to share your wisdom, to share your knowledge, to share your life story with the people who will receive it and hold it as precious as you hold it. But it's just important to not let that sitting in wait turn into fear of moving at all. Because you're allowed to take messy steps forward. You're allowed to like move just to experiment. You're allowed to experiment, you're allowed to play, you're allowed to practice. Because everyone is always seeking more wisdom at any given day. It's like, let yourself kind of come into a beginner energy, you know, just play around. Don't take it too seriously, and don't let it define you. Don't let your actions define you. Because you're allowed to take messy steps forward when you don't exactly know where it's going to lead. We got breathe. You have this endless depth to you. No one can take it. No one can suck it out, because it's constantly replenishing itself. And especially if you act with the beginner mindset of always coming from a student. Like, you're not the teacher, you're the student. Always taking the opportunity to learn and grow. Like, if you don't put yourself in the position to be taken from, then no one can ever take from you. And I think that is really kind of understanding what that means. Like, if you give willingly and you give from a place of security and stability and groundedness, and like, I really love these parts of myself and I want to share those parts of myself, then no one can take that away from you. No one can manipulate that because you're so secure in it. If you're questioning it, if you're doubting it, then that's when people can manipulate you and take from you and manipulate your light into serving themselves. But that won't really affect you if you are secure in the knowledge that you know who you are, and the core of you is this endless, infinite space of abundance. I'm gonna stop talking so you can get back to yourself, pulling your energy back and directing how you want to spread it, because it's meant to be spread, my darling. If this message resonated with you, let me know.